Hello everybody, I'm Kevin from Pieces of the Ocean, and today we are going to be discussing the top 10 easiest corals for beginners. We know that starting out in the coral hobby may be scary and intimidating, and that's why we want to give you 10 easy corals that you could start out with that will reduce your stress in the hobby. Coming in at number 10 should be no surprise. We're starting with Zoanthids. As we can see here, they're a beautiful coral that come in great varieties and colors and a bunch of different morphs, different shapes, different size skirts. These corals are really great for the beginner because they're tolerant to many parameters and they could even tolerate changes. On top of that, they don't need heavy lighting or heavy flow. They can be put into a simple and easy aquarium and still thrive. Coming in at number 9 is going to be a large polyp stony coral, better known as LPS. And I choose Duncans for the number 9 spot. Duncans are a great coral for beginners because they are tolerant to changes in water chemistry and they're not very vulnerable to bacteria or other pests that may exist in the aquarium hobby. Just a good dip with these guys and they should thrive for years in your aquarium, so long as your water parameters are stable. And number 8 is great for some of the same reasons. It's the candy cane coral. These corals have been in aquaculture for as long as corals have been in aquariums. Candy canes are very well adapted to aquarium life. And like I said with the Duncan coral, they are not vulnerable to many pests or bacteria. Candy canes were one of my favorite corals getting into the hobby because they have bright neon colors. They come in a bunch of variety. And also they have great feeding responses. If you're looking for something that's really fascinating and something that you can enjoy as an animal, you can spot feed this coral and really enjoy its reactions. Coming in at number 7, we have anemones. Anemones are great for beginners because they are tolerant to a wide range of parameters and they have amazing coloration as well as a flow pattern. Personally, anemones are one of my favorite corals because they bond up with a clownfish, one of my favorite fish. Clownfish are some of the hardiest fish in the entire aquarium hobby, which makes them a great pick for beginners. Anemones form symbiotic relationships with clownfish, some of the easiest fish you could keep in the aquarium hobby. And clownfish also get a lot of people into this hobby because of Nemo. Coming in at number 6, I'm going to use more of a blanket term for a broad range of coral species known as mushrooms. We have some Discosoma mushrooms as well as Redactus mushrooms and Yumas. These are all great choices for a beginner. Some may be easier than others, and I would recommend talking to your coral supplier about how the specific coral does for them. I personally love mushroom corals because they do great for me. They grow amazing in my tanks. And all around the store here at Pieces of the Ocean, mushroom corals are among the easiest to grow, cultivate, and to enjoy. They also have great feeding responses if you're interested in that. They come in a great variety of colors and shapes. Coming in at number 5, we choose the green star polyps. These are a great coral for beginners because they grow very fast. They blow beautifully in the wind or in the waves, and they can proliferate across your entire aquarium quickly. To some people, the overgrowth can be annoying. However, if you're looking for a simple aquarium that you can just enjoy, I think this coral is a great option for you as you can watch it grow and become a larger specimen. Coming in at number 4, we have Phovites, or better known as the war coral. These are some of our larger grow out colonies we have in the store. And I picked this coral because it's one that I have personally aquacultured for many years and never once have I seen it lose color. This coral can thrive in a wide range of parameters and a wide range of light and as well as flow. So this coral does not need fine tuning, and I believe that's what makes it great for a beginner. For number 3, we choose the Chalice Coral. The Chalice Coral comes in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and colors, and this is a coral that you could watch grow from a little frag to a giant colony. Chalice corals are great for the beginner because they tolerate low flow, low light. They don't require heavy equipment. They could tolerate changes in parameters. This is a coral that sometimes, depending on the variety, may be a slow grower, and that's what you get into with the rainbow chalices. However, if you have a simple Raja rampage or a reverse Raja rampage, all of these corals can grow very, very quickly. I believe it can be very gratifying for a new reefer to own a Chalice coral. I've personally had a great experience with Chalice corals in my own aquarium with the reverse Raja rampage, as well as the CC cloudberry. For number 2, I choose the torch coral. This is a coral that can be vulnerable to some diseases and pests, and that's why it's important to either quarantine or just dip and monitor this coral when you add it to your aquarium. However, they come in such a great variety of colors and they flow in the wind so elegantly that I believe any person that's getting into the aquarium hobby should have a torch coral, because they personally inspire me as a reefer. And last but not least, I choose the leather coral at number 1. These here are toadstool leathers. These corals are easy to grow large from a small frag, and they're slightly easy to propagate. When you cut these guys, they cannot be glued down, they have to be rubber band. And another thing to look out for with leather corals is that they shed. So if you see this coral closed for a week at a time, it's because it's most likely shedding. During this time period, I believe it's important to run carbon in your filtration. Other than that, a toadstool leather is a coral that you could watch go from 0 to 100 real quick. The leather coral was actually my first coral I ever owned, and I watched that coral go from nothing to a frag about this size, and I sold it. I have very fond memories of this coral, and it sprung me into this hobby unlike any other coral that's out there. Reef keeping is a rewarding and relaxing hobby for anyone, and I encourage anyone that's interested into it to get their feet wet. That's what this video was meant to do, to inspire you to take that leap and get one of those easy corals and enjoy the reef keeping hobby for yourself. If you're still intimidated by corals, just know that there's a giant community of people who are willing to help you out there, and a community of people who are still learning themselves. I believe that it's a beautiful hobby that unites a bunch of people from all over the world to come together and learn. If you have any questions, I encourage you to reach out to Pieces of the Ocean, either through email to support@piecesoftheocean.com, or in the comment section below this video, or through social media platforms such as Instagram. We are always here to help at Pieces of the Ocean. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.